I'm Nicole Alvarez here with Disclosure. Hi, guys.
Hello, how you doing?
We haven't seen each other since Coachella, but we were saying, like, we remember it happened. We were at the KROQ house, but then you have such a good time in the desert that everything kind of just goes out the window.
I mean, yeah, lots of people don't remember Coachella, I think.
No, which means
if you remember your Coachella, I don't think you've had a good enough time.
You're not doing it right, correct?
Something's wrong, yeah.
So congratulations, first of all, on the Grammy noms.
Oh, thank
you. Yeah.
That's incredible.
I know. Again, I can't believe it.
I know, right? So I know that you come from a musical family because we've spoken of your mom and dad.
Yeah,
but what exactly did they do when you guys were growing up?
Well, our mum was a professional singer. She was on lots of cruise ships and playing in big hotels and that kind of stuff. And our dad was in a band touring around Canada for a lot of the time, like a rock band. And then once we were born, they kind of stopped doing that and worked normal jobs so that they could feed us.
Okay, but would you say that they were like your main starter influences?
Yeah, absolutely. Like they got us into playing instruments at a really young age.
What if they were just accountants or lawyers and there were no instruments in the house?
We were talking
ever?
about this earlier.
Yeah, what if, like, go back, if you grew up in a house with no instruments, do you think you'd be here now?
I think, well, no, because like if they weren't musical, then I guess genetically we could not be musical. But I think like even if you're born out of a non-musical family and it is like within you, you will always have that urge to make music.
You'll find
you will find a way, even if you have to go out and buy the instruments yourself. But yeah, luckily for us, they were super supportive, and
I think that's an important part of having musical parents as well. Is like that they understand that. Like when I was getting kicked out of school for doing this, they were like, "Yeah, just do it. Like it's worth it."
That's wonderful because you had supportive parents. Other parents don't want anything to do with it, but they've seen. Luckily, you've become such successes. They must be like, we knew we were doing something right.
Of course, it's possible to do without. Like obviously, especially like somewhere like LA, people come from absolutely nothing and go on to do massive, huge things in music. So
you're allowed to chase your dreams here, which is really nice.
I guess we had a bit of luck. Yeah.
You're very young. What are other kids that you went to like junior high and high school? What are other kids back home your age doing?
I mean, all of my friends are at college, like studying.
Does a part of you guys kind of wish, or do you feel like you're missing out on the whole college experience?
I definitely feel like we're like missing out on some parts of it, but at the same time we're doing
the
better
college
stuff.
experience every day.
It's college of life.
Debt, hopefully.
Yeah.
So where you play these massive shows to these people that are sometimes out of their minds, and there's a lot involved. There's a lot of partying. There's a lot of attention. There's just a lot, and there's a lot of money being thrown your way. How do you keep a level head, or do you allow yourself the indulgence every once in a while?
You're probably better off answering that question.
Why am I there? I just bought a new house, so I'm definitely not as good as you at saving money.
But how do you keep a level head? How do you not just jump in party all the time?
Again, I think parents is kind of
it's your upbringing, isn't it? It's like what you're raised to believe is sensible and not sensible. If you're happy and not happy, you know, we're both pretty happy, level-headed, extremely normal people. Like deep down, you know, we're not like built to be the kind of crazy pop stars.
No, you really love what you're doing, and you can tell.
I mean, I can walk down the street in London like in my pajamas and go to the shops, and no one bothers me. So I think that really helps keep a level head. You know, we don't get papped everywhere. Like when we're here like this, people know who we are because they know that we're coming.
Oh, there's been girls camped out.
I reckon I could walk past this guy in the street, and he'd be like, "Is that them? I'm not quite sure. It might be. I don't know." But you know what I mean? It's like it's not as crazy as seeing someone like, you know, Kanye walk past you.
Well, it must. Like I've got to tell you, and you might get this. You look like Daniel Radcliffe. You do look like Harry Potter. A little tiny bit. It could be the eyes.
I mean, like, if I put the glasses on, like, maybe.
Has he ever heard that before?
It comes up a lot, man.
Okay, so forgive me. That's a very huge compliment. Or he looks like you. How's that?
What do you guys think? Harry Potter?
Looks like Harry Potter. Yes, I thought so. I was correct.
Okay, yeah, one vote.
Let's talk about the new album, which is incredible. You have some insane guest stars, Sam Smith again, Miguel, you have The Weeknd, you have Lord. Magnets has taken off on KROQ and all over the world. Do you go to them, or do they come to you?
I mean, normally it's kind of we're just friends, you know, so we'll just kind of say to each other, do you want to do a track or whatever. But yeah, other times when we haven't met them before, like with Miguel, I know we had met Miguel with The Weeknd, for example. Like we just made a date and we met in New York and spent 3 days in the studio and just wrote a song. I think there's something like equally rewarding to writing with someone that you've never met before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than
You
to
challenge
write
each
with
other.
your friend. Yeah, yeah, and it's a surprise to kind of see what they're like, which was cool. Yeah.
Let's finish it off. You guys are doing something that I think is so very cool with the videos for the new album. So why don't you explain it, because I'd probably mess it up if I did.
Sure.
The videos.
Yes,
Yeah, sure.
it's such a cool concept.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think we're definitely not the first to do it, but it was the first time we'd done it. But we basically wanted to, like with the first record, we kind of were really happy with all of our videos individually, but there was no kind of cohesion between any of it. So with this record, we just kind of wanted to join them all together, so there was more of a theme, and they were more recognizable. So we met up with this director called Ryan Hope, and he had the idea to do like a short film and use the music as, you know, kind of the soundtrack to the film almost. And if you watch them all in order back to back, there'd be a story that ran throughout the whole thing. And that's kind of what he did. Yeah, it's a really subtle kind of story, and you have to really watch it all in one go to kind of get it. But I quite like that, because it's like
wonderful.
each one you watch, the more you kind of learn.
And it gives you a reason to keep coming back and watching.
And like Lord and Sam, who both did it, were like amazing as well. It's better, like Lord as well. Like we had no idea what she was going to do for Magnets, and she went so in, and she looks like she's in the Matrix.
It has exploded. It's incredible.
She killed it, man.
The last thing I'll ask you guys is, and this is for each of you, the most outrageous thing that happened to you in 2015. Off the cuff. Most outrageous, or the highlight, or a pinch me moment. One thing that'll stand out when you look back.
Of the year. There's probably two. It's probably, number one was probably playing at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Selling out a show there was something like we've wanted to do since we were like, well, kids.
That's
you know.
bucket list right there. Check.
Yeah, it's like full lifetime achievement ticked off.
That's
so
incredible.
That was a good one. And yeah, just, you know, finishing a second record, you know, and, you know, because I'm 24, I was 21, like we never even thought we'd make an album, and to do two, and they both go to number one in the UK, and this one's gone top 10 here as well, which is mad. That's, you know,
crazy.
You know, we don't make music for charts or anything like that, but to get that recognition back just off making like organic music with each other is amazing.
It's impressive. What about you?
I was going to go down like a slightly less important role.
Okay,
and
it's
say,
all
like,
important.
We went to this award show once, and we sat in between Sam Smith and Elton John, and we were talking to Elton John. And while we were doing that, the Rolling Stones leant over our shoulder to like have a chat with Elton, and we were just there like, this is one of the most surreal things ever.
It's a pinch me moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, and tonight you're closing out KROQ's sold out Almost Acoustic Christmas. So thank you guys so much for being part of our family and for being part of this amazing event.
Oh, thank you.
No,
Everybody, disclosure, thank you again.
Thanks, guys.